we were a startup. We were hiring people, out of potentially great jobs, and with the promise of building a better company, a better way of doing things, all of that kind of thing. But also, that did mean they were taking a fair amount of risk. Now, I wanted to be really upfront as to, every promise I was making to them, I had to be absolutely sure I could keep. Implicit or explicit. So I was very upfront with people, which is, look, we look solid for a fair while, and in the beginning, I would guarantee salaries for a period of time. Joining, you will be told with a 3-month notice and all of those kinds of things. And as time has gone on, that ethos has continued. So the key thing is, don't promise you're not absolutely sure you can keep. So for me, incentives are, particularly a bonus structure, is a very difficult thing, because it becomes if not explicit, it becomes an implicit promise that what you're doing this year, you will be doing next year, and you'll be doing it to future years. And my concern is that a salary is an explicit promise that I will make, and I have to make, and I need to be very sure I can make, otherwise I need to be communicating to people that I cannot make it well in advance. A bonus, however, is something that ends up becoming dependent on profits and all these kinds of things, that, particularly profits, that you can't guarantee. You can't guarantee particularly what level they're going to be. So a person earns, let's say 10 rands of bonus, as an example, clearly a fictitious example, but they earn a 10 rand bonus. The next year they're expecting 10 rands, if not more. If you're coming back with 5, you've broken your promise. Implicit or explicit, you've broken that promise. You're not keeping that promise. And to me, that's a very important ability, to be keeping that promise, which is why we moved to the sort of monthly, or why we had from day one monthly salaries, because that's a promise. I know what it is. It's very clear between everybody what that is, and that's a promise I know I'll be able to deliver on. A bonus structure or an incentive structure creates all sorts of promises that also can become different in one person's mind than they are in another's, and then you're failing on that. And whether that's an explicit thing or not, for me, that is not something I'm comfortable with. So because of that, we've shied away from, for a little bit of a while, we actually did something a little bit like that with, locked in amounts that were already being allocated, so I knew they were there. But we've even moved away from that, because again, it was creating implicit promises I wasn't comfortable with going into the future. So because of that, salaries generally are higher, but that then counteracts that lack of other implicit promises that, as I say, I'm not certain I can keep.